Hello, it's February and you're most welcome. And if you're joining us for the first time, hello, I'm Penny and we're going to talk about February. This is my introductory video and I want to talk to you in general about February. Last month, January, we spent the entire month planning. And if you would like to know how to make a garden plan or how to make a schedule, how to actually plan your beds, then do take a look at last month's video tutorials and everything, because lots and lots of information there, 15 fact sheets that you can download. And we're all feeling a little bit sort of like, wow, that was quite something to take on board. So February is a little bit gentler and it's the last month out in the garden for preparing really the ground for the spring and just getting ourselves ready. And it's a sort of waiting game. And the thing about February is that it's incredibly unpredictable here on the south coast of the UK. It can be freezing cold and deep snow, which we've had before, or it can be 10 degrees and everything thinks it's spring. And it can be everything in between. It can be really windy and wet. It can be frosty and cold and sunny with iced up ground. And it is really, of all the months, I think, the one that we just have to go with Mother Nature and go with the flow and adjust ourselves and our timing and the jobs that we do to what's going on around us. And that actually is a good thing because it keeps us in a place where we know that we're only aiding nature to do the growing. We can't do it ourselves. We can't make it happen. We're just the sort of, the second hand to help to produce crops and plants. But hopefully, if we've done our planning and we're on top of that and we've done our organising our seed and we know that that's all ready and waiting and we can just get out there and do a lot of jobs like pruning and cutting back and mulching, we'll make a really good job of it. Yes, let me read you this. Every gardener knows that under the cloak of winter lies a miracle, a seed waiting to sprout, a bulb opening to the light, a bud straining to unfurl, and the anticipation nurtures our dream. And that's what February is all about. It's a month of anticipation. It's a month of seizing the moment. You know, if I wake up and it's not a grey, dreary, cold, wet day, but a one that's mild or sunny or dry, I've got to seize that moment. I can't expect that to be there all the time. So I will get outside and I'll get things done. And the great thing to remember, and this always I find a great joy in February, is that under the ground, the root systems are all getting established. You know, that incredible sort of forest underneath the soil, within the soil, all those different roots, the mycorrhizal fungi, the worms, everything that's going on under there is all getting ready to do this amazing burst in spring. And towards the end of the month, you can almost feel the sort of sap beginning to rise, the energy beginning to come back into the plants to come up in the spring and produce again. It's a wonderful feeling. And if you keep that big picture, it stops you getting sort of, oh, come on, we've had enough of winter. There. So, and also the other thing is that light, of course, is getting much, much better now. By the time February, mid-February comes, the light is really increasing. We're really beginning to see a little bit longer days, which is such a help because it's really, really dark and gloomy at the beginning of February. So there we go. And so this week, you can download the growing schedules. So you've got 2 PDFs up there, fact sheets that you can download. One is the vegetable, herb, fruit growing schedule, and the other one is the flower growing schedule. And there are jobs to do on there, and there are things to plan, and there are seed to sow this month. This is the first seed sowing month. And just a word of caution on that one, that it's so easy to sow too early. And many, many people do. And Instagram is full of people sowing their seeds really, really early. And I've learned through experience that it is not worth it. Because what you do, even if you've got heat mats and helpful lights and things like that, grow lights, what happens is the plant gets to a much further on stage too early. The point is that on the south coast here, my last frost date is beginning of May, and I can't put anything out into the garden that's tender before then. And so if I sow seed too early, I've got a whole queue of plants waiting to be planted out, and they get leggy, they get weak, they get unhealthy. It's just not possible. It's not really the cold, it's the light. There's just not enough light, and then later on it's the risk of frost is too great. So I have learnt, and I have got on the schedules, and you will see on the schedule exactly what we can start off this month. But it isn't things like tomatoes and things like that, because the plants will just get too big. And the other thing is that they catch up. I've sown tomatoes almost a month apart, and courgettes as well, and they just catch up. The ones later on have so much better growing conditions, so much more light, so much more warmth, that they easily catch up with the ones that I've sown earlier. So just hold on, don't sow too early. Keep to the schedules if you possibly can, because it really, really makes a difference. But we will be sowing, what shall we going to be sowing? We'll be sowing chilies and aubergines and peppers on a heat mat with grow lights, and I'm going to show you all that. I'm going to set up my growing station in the shed and show you how that works. And we will also be sowing the first peas, spinach, salad, hardy mustards, kohlrabi, cabbages and calabrese towards the end of the month. So there's lots to get us going, and the great thing is that is also getting those done onto the next stage, so that I can use my grow lights and my heat mats for the next thing, which will be the tomatoes in March, and the courgettes and things like that. So it's all very carefully planned. So don't worry, we're not going to be late, but don't be too early on the sowing. Also, what else is happening? In week 3 of this month, so the third week in February, in the spotlight this month is a fact sheet that you can download, and I'm covering leeks, onions and garlic, which are the mainstay of a good kitchen and a lovely vegetable garden. So we'll cover those in detail. And to go alongside those, the monthly recipes will be about recipes with those, how to use those. Obviously, there's the ordinary ways of using them, but I've got some other ones as well. And that monthly recipe download, that fact sheet, is ready for you too in the third week of the month. I'm going to show you how to make soup from scratch, and how to use leftover veg, freezer veg, that sort of thing, to make soup brilliantly for that. For instance, things like the stored winter squash, how to make really delicious soups from those, because I thought that just might be useful to you, because I mean, we always have soup on the go, because when you grow vegetables, there's lots of veg that you need to do that with. So we're going to be doing that, sowing some flower seeds, lots of things. February is a month of positive energy, and I really hope you enjoy it, and I love it, and we'll enjoy it together and get everything ready for when everything begins to build up in March and things get really, really busy. So yes, I hope you enjoy this.